why people like you don't, Rabbi, they don't like their dogs? Why? It's not.
There's many. I love dogs. I always had dogs when I grew up, but now I'm religious and I don't have dogs in my house. The only time that the Torah will allow you to have a dog is if it needs to guide a blind person, or if you have a farm and you have all sorts of animals that come to attack, you need a dog to guard it.
Or it's in the backyard. If
Yeah.
you have a house,
Or
in the backyard, but not inside.
yeah, or for example in the army, or if you live next to a dangerous place. If in Israel they live in all sorts of dangerous places, you need a dog. This is where the Torah will allow you to have a dog. It's better not to have it in the house. It's better not to say brachot next to it. It's better not to do mitzvot next to it. The only reason is, and this is no offense to the dogs, I love dogs too, but the essence, the chayut, the life that brings life to any unkosher animal is the opposite of holiness. It's the sitra acha, it's tzuma. So you bring this impurity into your house. What should you do? Then if you have a backyard, then you keep it in the backyard. Look, if you ask my honest opinion, better not to have it. But if at this point you're already so connected to the dog and the kids are connected and it's part of the family, then first of all you have to be very careful that every time you touch it, right away you have to do netilat yadayim. You cannot eat, 3 times with a cup.
And bracha?
No, just water. You cannot say a bracha after you touch the dog. You cannot eat after you touch the dog. You cannot do kiddush next to the dog. There's a lot of things you have to know. If you pray in the house, you can't pray next to the dog. It's nothing against the dogs. I love dogs. I grew up with animals. I'm an animal lover. But when it comes to kedusha, it's nothing against. It's nothing against the animals. But every being in this world gets a life force. It's called chayut from 3 different places. Either they get it from kedusha, holiness. Either they get it from tuma, the other side of holiness, or they get it from klipat noga, which is not here and not here. These are kosher animals, trees that you're allowed to eat the fruit from, stuff like that. That they're not here and not here. Any tree that you're not allowed to eat from it gets its chayut from tuma. Any animal that is not kosher for us gets its chayut from tuma. So any food that we're not allowed to touch, inanimate, gets its chayut, its force from tuma. That's why you're not allowed. Why do you think we're not allowed to eat unkosher animals? Not because Hashem doesn't want us to eat, a horse or a pig, chas v'shalom. Because the nitzot eloki, the godly spark that enlivens that particular animal, comes from the other side of holiness, and it will affect negatively our soul if we come into contact with it. So if you have a dog in your house, if you want to go to do it 100%, then best not to have the dog in the house. You're already connected to the dog, the kids are connected, it's part of the family. So if you have a backyard, put it in the backyard. And if not, then go and read all the little rules that you have to do when the dog is in the house. I'm already telling you, you cannot say brachot next to the dog. Any bracha, even shakol niya bidbaro. Not to talk about kiddush, not to talk about praying, mamash, praying in the house. Every time you touch an unkosher animal, you finish the petting, you go and you wash your hands. If you touched it, don't touch your eyes, don't touch your nose, don't touch your mouth, don't touch your ears, don't touch any of the holes of the body. So this is not only dog, it's cats too, it's any unkosher animal.
So when they touch your feet, then you go to any...
No, if they touch your feet, it's fine. You'd have to touch with your hand.
And then 3 times wash it.
Yeah. Now if you're playing with a dog, you don't have to every minute go and wash your hands. Play with the dog for half an hour and then go and wash your hands. There's in Halacha, there's always exceptions when you're allowed to have a certain animal. Certain animals, there's no benefit from them, better not to have them at all. I'll give you an example. Horses, it's not a kosher animal.
It's not kosher, or is it because the shechita?
Has nothing to do with the shechita.
Oh, because a giraffe is a kosher.
I don't know anyone that has giraffes in their homes.
But I mean, it's because you don't know where to shechit.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah, giraffe is kosher, by the way.
Yeah.
There's a lot of animals that are kosher that we don't eat.
Yeah,
But-
but I don't know about camel and horse.
Camel and horse are not kosher.